You are Locked On Warriors POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Locked On Warriors POSTCAST. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR. And tonight, man, the Warriors couldn't close it out at Chase Center in Game 6 against the Houston Rockets, falling 115-107, a shocking collapse in that fourth quarter. Steph Curry, who usually shines in these situations, played pretty poorly by his standards tonight. You look at the point total, and that was fine, but when you look a little bit deeper, just 9 of 23 from the floor and 5 turnovers. Also, you only had 3 total Warriors in double figures tonight. Someone other than Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler will desperately need to step up in Game 7 on the road in a hostile environment at the Toyota Center if the Warriors want to avoid the dreaded up 3-1 collapse for a second time in their playoff history. That would just be awful. The Rockets nearly doubled the Warriors in free throw attempts again tonight. And I'm sitting here wondering, what the hell is a foul in the NBA after this game? We'll break it all down. But first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Warriors podcast feed. Make sure to check out the Locked On Warriors Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. And this is just, the worst case scenario that could have happened from this game. The Warriors, I really thought they were going to close this one out at home. I was so confident that they were going to close this one out. If you watched our last show with Paulie Mack, he and I were both not counting our chickens before they hatched, but we were. I told you guys to bet all the money that I've ever made in my lifetime on the Warriors closing out this series. And I might have to eat those words, man. Like, this is bad. This is very bad. And I fully expected someone to step up other than Steph and Jimmy. And while you had, I guess Brandon Podziemski did get one more bucket in garbage time there to get into double figures. So you had 4 Warriors in double figures, just barely, thanks to some garbage time points. But Moses Moody, 13 points. He played okay, but 5 of 13 from the field, not great. Brandon Podziemski played okay as well. He also had 10 points, but it's just not enough. Every other person, not named Jimmy Butler or Stephen Curry on this team, was not very good tonight. As a whole, the Warriors shot just 30% from three-point range, and you shot 49 shots from beyond the arc. This has been the Warriors' kind of big issue throughout this whole season. When they fall into these games where they just start chucking it from deep and they don't get to the free throw line, they don't get into the paint. They were only 37 of 90 from the floor, but so 41% from the floor is not great, but it's a hell of a lot better than 30% from beyond the arc. So I really want the Warriors to start getting into the paint a little bit more. I know this Rockets team is tough, to say the least, defensively. They're super athletic. They're super long. You have to worry about Steven Adams down there patrolling the paint, and Şengün's pretty good defender in his own right down low. Amen Thompson is very, very, very good defensively. I'm not going to give Dillon Brooks any credit at all because I think that guy is 90% in act and 10% skill, if even that much. But this is a pretty good, pretty stout defensive team that the Houston Rockets have, and it's going to be a tough task to break that perimeter defense and drive into the teeth. But you have to do it. You absolutely have to do it. And you saw Jimmy starting to get going there in that third quarter. He really did have a pretty solid game there, but you only had 3 different Warriors go to the free throw line, and it was the 3 superstars of this team, Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. Not a single other player on this team wanted to take it upon themselves to drive into that teeth of that defense and try and draw a foul and get to the line. The Rockets shot 46 free throws tonight. That's more than double what 46 free throws is insane. The Warriors only had 22, but oh my God, 46 free throws is absolutely absurd. I am so confused what the hell a foul is after watching this game, because I'm watching Steph Curry get mugged, absolutely mugged every single possession, and no calls. Steph shot 6 free throws tonight. You cannot tell me that Steph didn't deserve to shoot more than 6 free throws tonight based on what we saw out there. And you also got to give Steven Adams a little bit of credit. He made more than half of his free throws at the line when the Warriors were clearly trying to send him there. He shot 16 of them and made 9. So, I mean, but Fred VanVleet getting 9 free throws, going 9 for 9 from the charity stripe. I mean, every single Houston Rockets starter shot at least 2 free throws. It's very, very tough to beat a team when it feels like you have the whole world working against you. When it feels like Tim Donaghy's out there and he needs a game 7 for his whatever bet he's got on this series. This is insanity right now. I am. My dad, who doesn't really watch basketball that much, tuned in for this series, or he's tuned in for a couple games in this series, and he was texting me and trying to understand what a foul was, because he's trying to watch this game, and he's straight up told me, I do not understand what a foul in the NBA is. And I told him, you know what, dude, neither does anybody at Chase Center right now, including the refs, because this has just been, I mean, you have the Rockets coming out after game 6 saying openly to the media that they are hunting Steph Curry's injured hand, that they are trying to go after that, which, I mean, obviously there's gamesmanship in every sport. If you know a guy is hurt, you're going to maybe bump him a little harder on that injury. That's just how sports go when they're played at the highest level in the most competitive atmospheres. That's how that goes. But for a guy to come out there and sit at the podium post-game and admit to that, like just openly state, yeah, we're trying to hurt this guy. We're trying to re-injure that thumb. What the hell? Like, at least look for that if you're an official, because Steph is getting grabbed, he's getting hit, he's getting undercut, he's getting clubbed on every single play. Half of Steph's 3-pointers, he ends up on the ground afterwards because he's getting hit, he's getting undercut. They're, I mean, taking that high five, so to speak, that high five defense where you're allowed to kind of hit the guy's hand after the shot goes off. They're taking that to like a whole nother level with what they're doing to Steph out there right now. It is absolutely absurd what I'm watching. But ultimately, the Warriors, that fourth quarter collapse, man, that really put the nail in the coffin, which brings me to tonight's turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And after the Warriors had cut that Rockets lead to just 2 to enter the fourth quarter, the Rockets just went on a massive run to push the lead to the biggest that it was all game long. They went from a 2-point lead to a 17-point lead in about 7 minutes of play. And the Warriors during that stretch, I mean, they started that fourth quarter 1 of 16 from the floor, 1 of 16. And I mean, Steph, with the injury to his thumb, he's obviously hampered. His shooting ability is clearly not what it should be. He's missing a lot of open shots. The Warriors aren't able to just chuck up from 3 all of these frankly terrible shots. Like, they're passing up easy 2-pointers in that fourth quarter to try and get a 3-point shot. I need this team to just take the open shot. It's like the Houston Rockets are not a prolific offensive team. I know this game was only an 8-point margin a victory for the Rockets at the end, but this felt much bigger than that. The garbage time swung heavily in favor of the Warriors, just like it did in Game 5. But in Game 5 in Houston. But it blows my mind that the Warriors cannot just take what's in front of them. They are trying to force certain plays and certain actions that just aren't there right now. Go into the teeth of this defense, draw some fouls, get to the line, and make your free throws. That is the key to winning Game 7 in Houston. Force the official to blow the whistle. Get into the teeth of that defense and force them to call a foul. I mean, this is just getting completely out of hand. Like, the chippiness is off the charts. It's not even chippiness anymore. I don't even know what sport I'm watching half the time. When Draymond Green also is no exception to this. In that first quarter, he like WWE body slammed Jalen Green, like 2 hands, just throwing him down to the ground via his head. And I mean, there has to be a line in the sand somewhere. Draymond did pick up a flagrant for that, by the way, which I think kind of changed how he played the rest of this game. Draymond's got to be smarter in the beginning of these games, not getting himself into foul trouble. And all the turnovers, like, you can't have Steph, Jimmy, and Draymond combined for 10 turnovers just with the three of them. That's just not going to work. The Warriors lost that turnover battle 16-11, and they didn't score very much off of those Rockets turnovers either. I mean, the Warriors, they scored just 12 points off Rockets turnovers, and the Rockets scored 22 off of the Warriors turnovers. So the Rockets have beat the Warriors in points off turnovers. They beat them on second chance points. They beat them in points in the paint. I mean, they beat them in the rebounding battle, and that is all huge, especially the rebounds, because what the Warriors want to do against this Rockets team is get out and run before they can get set in their half-court defense. Warriors showed you that tonight with 28 fast break points. The Rockets only had 11, so they did do that tonight. But really, that deficit could be greater. If the Warriors are able to rebound better and out-rebound this Rockets team, they will get more transition points. That's what sparks those fast break points, is grabbing some rebounds, throwing it up the court. No one-handed passes. We don't want one-handed baseball passes up the court. That is not what we want, because we know that the Warriors turn the ball over a ton in those situations. But again, take what's in front of you. Push the pace, yeah, but don't throw it ahead to a guy who's got a 1-on-2 fast break opportunity, if you even want to call that a fast break opportunity. It's not a good situation. And as I said, someone other than Jimmy and Steph needs to step up tonight. When you're looking at the other guys, the role players who could have stepped up tonight, looking at Buddy Hield. We've had good Buddy in this series, and now here's bad Buddy. 17 minutes, 0 for 4, 0 points. You can't have that in game 6 at home in a closeout opportunity when you're trying to stop yourself from having to go back on the road into Houston, which is gonna, just be a rabid environment for the Warriors. I don't know if they're gonna face if they do advance past this series. I think that this game 7 might be the most intense playoff game that the Warriors will play this entire postseason, win or lose. I think that's the case. But again, tonight the Warriors could not do very much offensively. 30% from the 3-point arc, and just again, terrible job of rebounding, terrible job in that fourth quarter of shot making, and just trying to force 3-pointers when they weren't there. And the Rockets knew that's exactly what the Warriors wanted to do, so they kind of just let them they let them have that mid-range zone just wide open, and the Warriors not taking advantage of it. I know that nobody likes the mid-range shot, but if you're going to have a hard time getting past Steven Adams in the paint, and the Rockets are just going to focus on playing perimeter defense, you got to take what's in front of you. I want to see more mid-range shots from this team. I don't know what Steph Curry is going to look like in game 7. I don't know what Jimmy Butler is going to look like in game 7, but both of those guys are obviously hampered with injuries right now and still carrying the weight of this team on their shoulders. They both played 42 minutes tonight. So the Warriors are going to have their work cut out for them as they head out to game 7 in Houston. And the pressure is on the Warriors, not on the Rockets. The Rockets are playing at home. The Warriors are the ones who are trying to not be on the wrong side of history as far as these 3-1 blowing 3-1 series leads. I mean, we already know the thing that happened in the finals several years ago at this point, but we don't want a reenactment of that in this first round series. Very frustrating loss for the Warriors tonight. And we have to say it every show, put on the damn shirts. If you're going out to these games, if you're lucky enough to be there, put on a shirt. I literally watched a guy who was sitting half court, who wasn't wearing one of those yellow shirts out there all game long. Watched him get up and leave with about 5 minutes left in the game, which, one, you shouldn't be doing it at a playoff game. And two, the shirt was still on this chair. Like, he just left it there. He was like, I don't need this yellow shirt. Bye. See ya. What? Put on the shirts. I need Chase Center to start like shaming everybody who's not wearing the shirt. Like, put them on the Jumbotron and relentlessly boo them until they put it on. Your LL Bean, spring collection is not nearly as cool as you think it is. Your cool little puffer vest, not that cool, man. Put on the damn shirt. I don't care that yellow clashes with whatever color scheme you're going for. It blows my mind. This might be the last chance that we have to talk about this on this playoff run anyways, and it might be a very short playoff run for what we thought it was going to be just a couple days ago. So the Warriors absolutely have their work cut out for them going forward. We got to take a quick break here, but when we come back, we'll talk about what you'll be talking about after this one as well as giving out a player of the game. Don't go anywhere here on the Locked On Warriors postcast. Today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and you start building wealth. Comes with all sorts of surprising insights. When I started using Monarch, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery. Now I budget smarter and save more. It also gives you all-in-one convenience. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check out your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. And of course, it offers you easy collaboration. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. Welcome back to the Locked On Warriors postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and tonight the Warriors, a catastrophic loss to the Houston Rockets. 115-107 at Chase Center. Really wasn't as close as the final score might indicate. The Warriors were trailing by 17 points at one point in that fourth quarter. And as I said, going forward, the pressure all shifts to the Warriors, which I think that's what you're going to be talking about after this one.
This is what you'll be talking about.
And it's going to be the pressure that is on this Warriors team, and not just on Steph and Jimmy, which it's obviously they've been carrying this pressure, this weight on their shoulders through this whole playoff run, even really before the playoffs started, leading up to the playoffs. They have been the clear-cut backbone of this team, but you got to have somebody else step up. And for guys like role players, usually shoot better at home. That was not the case tonight, as collectively the Warriors were very, very bad from beyond the arc. They were not very good from the floor, as I said, especially in that fourth quarter. Started it just 1 of 16 from the floor in that fourth quarter. But on the road, the pressure is going to mount in that game 7. And you're going to need guys like Buddy Hield to step up through that pressure. You're going to need guys like Brandon Podziemski to step up through that pressure. You're going to need Quentin Post. You're going to need Moses Moody. You're going to need every single one of these guys to have a contribution. At least something. You got at least a little bit of something from Moody and Pods tonight, but I need more. I need more than 10 points from Pods in 29 minutes. He did give you 7 rebounds, which was pretty good, but I just need more than 10 points and 7 boards from Brandon Podziemski. I need some more scoring from him. We talked about how great it was that the Warriors had another scoring option down the stretch besides Jimmy Butler and Stephen Curry. It changed how this Warriors team operated offensively, and it freed up all sorts of space on the floor. I don't think you can start speaking of spacing, I don't think you can start Gary Payton in game 7. I really, really love GP2. I think he's a great energy guy. I think that he's a phenomenal defender, maybe the best on-ball defender that the Warriors have on this roster aside from Draymond Green. But he cannot space the floor the same way that other guys on this roster can. I think Brandon Podziemski has to start. I think Moses Moody has to start. I think you go back to what was working for you earlier on. You go with Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, and Brandon Podziemski and Moses Moody. I think that is the starting 5 that got you to this point. You got to go back to it. In this do or die moment, you go with what was working for you. You go back to the basics. And for the Warriors, it's that starting lineup. Moses Moody has shown that he's got a little bit left in the tank. Again, not the best shooting percentage from the floor, just 5 of 13 tonight, but he was 3 of 5 from downtown. He was the only Warrior with a respectable shooting percentage from the three-point arc. He gave you some good minutes out there. I think that he gives you something on defense. I think that he can, with that kind of lineup, they can essentially run Steven Adams off the floor in a lot of different ways. But you got to start taking what's available to you. Pods is very good with his little mid-range push shots. Jimmy Butler, a pretty good mid-range shooter. Steph, obviously, a good mid-range shooter. It's not very often that we're going to sit here and advocate for the Warriors to take mid-range shots, but that's what's available. Take it. Stop trying to force the issue with things that aren't there. I mean, the Rockets are not going to let you shoot the three-pointer without it being contested. They're not going to let you into the paint with Steven Adams patrolling that middle. You got to go in, draw the fouls when you do penetrate and get into the paint, and you got to take the open mid-range shot when it's there. Before we get on out of here, we got to give out a player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And we're going to give it to Jimmy Butler because he's the only guy on the Warriors who seemed to give them any kind of fight in that second half. I mean, that third quarter, Jimmy was really doing a lot. Even right before halftime, Jimmy got fouled while he threw up a prayer from just inside the three-point arc. His toe was just on the line. But, I mean, Jimmy played great tonight. 27 points, didn't lead the team. Steph had 29, but Jimmy had 27 points. He had 9 boards and 8 assists. So Jimmy was your leading rebounder, your leading assister, and he was second leading scorer for the Warriors tonight. He's also the only guy who really had a presence at the free throw line. The rest of this team needs to take a page out of Jimmy Butler's book and figure it out for this game 7. It's do or die time. And it's time for the Warriors to step up and close the series out in Houston. I am sweating this one. I was very confident going into game 6. I was pretty confident going into game 5. I am not very confident going into game 7. So I'll be sweating this one out with the rest of Tub Nation, and hopefully the Warriors don't get sent home packing in this first round. We made all sorts of Cancun jokes at the expense of the Rockets. It might be the Warriors looking for flights down to Cancun after their next game. So this one, very, very, very stressful. Your next game is in 2 days. It's on Sunday, May 4th, 5:30 p.m. tip on TNT. Thanks for tuning in. That's all the time we got for you guys today here on the Locked On Warriors postcast. Appreciate you guys tuning into the show, all the everydayers, Daniel, and my guy Zach saying it's a gut punch loss. Absolutely a gut punch loss. And Van Vliet has murder on his mind. Yeah, he absolutely did. Van Vliet has been, lights out. You can't really say anything about what he's been doing out there these last couple games. He has been very, very, very good for the Houston Rockets. It's all the time that we got for you guys today here. We'll be coming to you live Sunday, win or lose. So make sure you're tuning in to the Locked On Warriors postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll see you next time. Peace.